Hi everybody, this week on ANN News Kids, we are talking about the Aukus Pact, the new Lebanese Prime Minister, Angela Merkel, and coronavirus cases. The country of the week is Lithuania, and Siddhant Bhatt was the first to guess it. Congratulations. We are talking about Wales in the Extra Fun segment, and in the Premature Career segment, we are talking to Indira Pallaro, who is an instructional designer at Amazon and is currently living in Madrid. I really hope you enjoy, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment below because we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. Australia has sided with USA and UK to acquire nuclear submarines. There are only 6 countries in the world who manufacture nuclear submarines. The alliance of UK, USA, and Australia is known as Aukus, and they have a pact to share all technological advancements between them. This move angered France because it ruined a multi-billion-dollar deal made by France and Australia. And the reason that Australia sided with USA and UK for this is probably due to China's rise and advancements. The new Lebanese Prime Minister, Najib Mikati, will try his best to fix Lebanon from its state. Some Lebanese will find it hard to trust him because so many people in the past have failed. He had served as caretaker prime minister in 2005 and 2011. And he and his brother, Taha, who is also his main business partner, are the richest men in Lebanon. Under the German Chancellor Angela Merkel, the country thrived, but now she's leaving the office after 16 years, and many Europeans believe that the country's golden age is over. She has led Germany and the EU through several crises, such as the 2008-2009 financial crisis, the 2015-2016 migration crisis. The elections for her successor are ongoing and will end soon. But many are unsure if the next successor will be able to fill in her shoes. Coronavirus cases worldwide are slowly decreasing. The total worldwide cases are now 228.5 million, the total deaths are 4.7 million, and the total recoveries are 205 million. The top 5 countries with the most cases are USA, India, Brazil, UK, and Russia. And the top 5 countries with the most deaths are USA, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Peru. Many are unsure if there will be a third vaccination needed, but the FDA confirmed that it's only needed for senior citizens. So could you please start by introducing yourself?
Perfect. So my name is Indira Pallaro, and I'm an instructional designer for Amazon, which is a massive company. And I'm currently living in Madrid, Spain, but I'm originally from Brazil and I studied in the US. So
wow.
Looks mix, yeah.
And can you tell us more about what you do in your job?
Mhm. Yeah, so it's a bit complicated to explain, but hopefully I can do a good job. So, an instructional designer, what we do is create learning, but on the internet, right? So, for example, like you know how sometimes you have like a PowerPoint presentation that your teacher can go over. Instead of having somebody that like explains the PowerPoint to you, we create like a self-guided lesson that teaches something to someone. In this case, since I work for a big company, I work inside of like a department that's called Learning and Development, which is for to train people inside of the company on how to do certain things, or if something is changing, to communicate that with them through training. But it's all done online. So I'm kind of like a behind the scenes teacher that then sends something out and doesn't see them interact with it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And what brought you to this stage? Could you tell us a bit more about your journey so far?
So I studied biology at university, which is very yeah. And then I also did like Italian studies, which is like language and culture and literature from and history from Italy. And but then after that, I actually moved to Italy and started teaching English and Spanish at a language school. And I loved teaching, and I loved like trying to come up with a lesson and doing a lesson plan. So then I went back and got a master's in education development. And then ever since then, I've been working in like a nonprofit for education first. Then I went into universities. So I was working just in the university space doing different things. And my previous job to Amazon was working as like a project manager, kind of instructional designer for a university where we were creating materials for professors as like a support to their lessons.
Oh,
And
wow.
then, yeah, so from there I then went to Amazon, where I'm now working in like a very corporate space, but doing the same thing. So yeah, a very windy road, but
Yeah.
it makes sense, I think, when I tell people like there's a progression.
Wow, that's great. And what do you enjoy the most about your job?
I really like hearing from people, like how they learn, what they like, right? And then trying to come up with something really creative and really interesting and really interactive that will make it so that something that can be really boring, which is like you taking a training on your own, becomes really interesting. So that's kind of, I think, my favorite part about my job is when I see that people give me feedback that what we've created is really cool or really different or really engaging, or you know the information was really exactly what they needed to know, like very practical, right? So it's getting that feedback, and I do really enjoy like creating something from scratch and then seeing it become something also.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And how has COVID-19 affected what you do?
It actually hasn't affected it as much because since I already work in the online space, right? We were always online. My team has always been remote. And the only difference is that I used to go to an office and not have anybody in my team there. And now I just stay at home and have nobody from my team here. So the main change has just been that we're all working from home, whereas some of us used to go to an office. But and then you have a little less of that like office interaction, or you know seeing people or meeting different people from your company. But the work that I do in itself, because it's online based, there's been no big difference. Yeah.
Wow.
And you said that you studied biology before. So what made you transition from biology to what you do now and your whole career in like teaching?
Yeah, it's very different. I was really interested in biology, especially on like the genetics side of biology. So that's kind of what I focused on when I studied it. But when I was trying to find a job in that space, it was very difficult because it was also when there was a big recession that happened in 2008, and I graduated from university in 2010. So it was really difficult to find a job. And also, I realized that the majority of the jobs in that space is actually working in a lab. And I worked in a lab while I studied. And basically I was like alone with, we did research on insects. So I was alone with a bunch of insects all day. And I realized I liked talking to people and interacting with human beings a little bit too much. So I decided to like see where life would take me. And I actually think that there is something to be said about studying like biology and also working with people. Like you actually, I don't know, you learn more about them. And I think for my job, where we have to do a lot of like research really to understand what is the training need, it helps to be a little bit more on like the scientific side, to be really precise, right? And to get the right information across. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. Thank you. And what is your advice to kids?
I think my main recommendation is to like, there's two, right? One is enjoy whatever moment you are in your life. Sometimes I know, like, especially I remember being little and thinking like, oh, I want to be a grown up, like they get to do whatever they want. But honestly, there's something really cool about also like going to school and enjoying it and meeting new people and having a different classmate every year and all of that. So I think it's about like enjoying every step of the way, right? Like don't try to like rush ahead to grown-upness, 'cause it's great, but there's also great things about being a kid. And then the other thing I would say is to always like, I'm really driven by like learning and just everything that I'm interested in, as you know, you've heard from the fact that I studied biology to where I am now. Things end up kind of working out, right? So I would say like try to follow and study and do the things that you're passionate about, and then kind of life has a way of working itself out, and eventually you're going to see that like you've had all these wonderful different experiences, you've learned all these cool new things. So don't be so like narrow-minded and thinking that you have to do this one thing or that you have to be this one type of person. I would say try to, you know, learn as much as possible, as much as about the things that you actually enjoy.
Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah, it was amazing. Everything that you said about, it was great. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
La Lituanie est un pays d'Europe. Sa capitale est Vilnius et sa population est de 2,8 millions d'habitants. C'est connu pour son nature et 40% de la pays est couvert en forêt. Il y a un arbre très spécial qui est âgé de presque 2000 années et qui a survécu les croisades, qui s'appelle le chêne stémulasé. C'est l'un des plus vieux arbres d'Europe et le plus vieux arbre de Lituanie. Chaque année, la rivière Vilnia est teinte en vert pour la célébration de Saint-Patrick. Les Lituaniens adorent les montgolfiers. Et le cigogne blanche est l'animal national de Lituanie. Le basketball est le sport le plus populaire de Lituanie et il y a beaucoup de joueurs qui sont lituaniens qui ont joué dans la NBA. La langue de Lituanie est l'un des plus vieux langues du monde. Merci. Hi everybody, for the extra fun segment, I'll be talking about whales. I hope you enjoy. Whales are cetaceans or aquatic animals. They are the largest animal on Earth, and they are even bigger than any kind of dinosaur. The Antarctic blue whales are the largest type of whales and can weigh up to 180 tons and can measure up to 38 meters in length. Before exploitation, there used to be 225,000 Antarctic blue whales, but now there are only 3,000. Whales evolved from the land, and their closest relative are hippos. There are two types of whales, toothed whales and baleen whales. Baleen whales have a special fibrous baleen substance in their stomachs, making it easier to digest smaller fish like plankton and krill. And the toothed whales have bigger teeth, which allows them to easily chew bigger animals like squids. Killer whales or orca are not actually whales. They're the largest type of dolphin. In 2014, a caviar beaker made history by holding its breath for 2 hours and making the longest and deepest dive that has ever been recorded for a whale. It went below the water 2,992 meters. Since cetaceans are mammals, they need to breathe air. But unlike humans, they can choose when they want to breathe air. Whales have the longest migrations of any mammal. Humpback whales can travel up to 10,000 kilometers per year between feeding and birthing grounds. And scientists estimate that the lifespan of a bowhead whale is at least 200 years, which is a lot given their size. These bowhead whales spend their lives swimming in Arctic waters where the water is so cold that there is less tissue damage and slow metabolism. I really hope you enjoyed these facts and thank you for watching.